Hi, it's Maralyn Quinones, and this is my presentation from my essay from Golden Age Spain to modern day magic realism. My first goal was to find the connections between the two. I wanted to see how we found the influences of magic realism and its use, and how it was carried from both the Golden Age of Spain, from the writings to design elements such as costuming and scenery, to post-World War II American art form alongside the post-expressionism movement. First of all, I wanted to clarify what is magic realism in today's society. Webster's dictionary described it first as painting a meticulously realistic style of imaginary or fantastic scenes or images, as well as also defining it as a literary genre or style associated especially with Latin America that incorporates fantastic or mythical elements into otherwise realistic fiction. Could also be called magic realism. Magic realism is a type of realism using contemporary subjects, often in cool detachment and sometimes injecting in eerie atmospheres. That's kind of where the art form comes from, especially with post-World War II America alongside a post-expressionism movement. The juxtapositions of sharply rendered and detailed elements both in the foreground and in the background are used to develop an air of mystery or ambiguity, and this is what we see in the current image shown. Magic realism first appeared in the works of Latin American novelists like Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Jorge Luis Burgos. Novelists of this style allow fantasy to coexist with realism so that boundaries are erased and neither reality nor fantasy is subordinate to the other. In theater, magical realist plays have largely been associated with writers from marginalized groups, which is very important, I feel, in today's society. And this re-envisioning of a reality dominated by rationalism is a powerful artistic strategy used here when writing these plays mostly to challenge the status quo and traditional Western classifications. From there, such people as Jose Rivera, a Puerto Rican playwright who wrote Marisol, and Tony Kushner, an American playwright who wrote Angels in America, became wildly popular with using this tactic in their plays, along with Sarah Ruhl when she was writing Eurydice. Next, I will show a video that kind of shows what magic realism can be seen as in modern America. This is from Smokefall, a play written by Noah Heidel.
Get excited, brother. We're about to enter the reality of experience. It's guaranteed to be the most dramatic entrance of our entire lives.
With our exit always waiting.
Okay, yes, but in the middle...
In the middle, the cycle of desire and resultant suffering.
In the middle, the realities of experience. Some songs, a little dancing, and the occasional joke.
And if the jokes don't work, we can bring on a dog.
That's a great idea.
You're an idiot. I can't believe we're related.
Jeez. Tough womb.
Beauty eats impossible things, like bark from trees, newspapers, shoes, rocks, light bulbs, and earth. Nobody knows how she manages to survive on this diet, but nobody sees fit to mention it anymore. But they are embarrassed at restaurants when she eats the napkin, or at family weddings when she eats the bridal bouquet, or the centerpiece. Like in most families, disturbing behavior that happens daily is ignored.
Beauty, would you forgive me if I couldn't be part of this family anymore?
So with that, we definitely saw how magic realism could be incorporated in traditional pieces. Some major things that I try to do when finding the connection between how these Latin American and American playwrights wrote this is to look at the main influences in playwriting from the Spanish Golden Age. And first, it was going to be Lope de Vega, who, above all others, gave the shape and stamp to modern European drama. And so with that is the importance to show that his tendency was to emphasize the individual, to exhibit strange faces of passion, ambition, or hatred, which you didn't previously see. He used this by using Spanish folklore, ballads, or legends of history with native characters. And because of this, it was able to invest countless entertainers, and it made an audience more invested. He used tactics such as adopting outlaws as heroes, mixed together the sacred and the farcical, and cared little for probability or historical accuracy with his pieces. So I think that's something very important to show. And then another person we have of the time period that was important was Calderón de la Barca. Calderón was a playwright who was known for his Autos Sacramentales, which captured the dogma of Catholicism through symbolic storytelling and the use of beautiful lyrical dialogue. This is most shown in his piece Life is a Dream, which was a secular play, one of his few, where he kind of talked about the mysteriousness of life a little bit more. And because of this, he also was very devoutly Catholic in his point of view, and that can be shown. But something really important is that he threw his heroes into difficult situations, one after the other, handling supernatural and ghostly themes in a masterly fashion, and he was able to write scenes of grim humor. So putting these all together really helped set up for such persons as Voltaire and Shakespeare, who we see in modern day drama today. And so when Calderón passed away from his life, a lot of influences from Italy and French then became more prominent to his more classical, romantical themes. And that's where we really see the start of magic realism in the literary movement. Some other really important things to think about are design aspects, and I would love to talk about the scenery connections we see. For these two photos that I've shown, the one on the bottom is more of the Spanish Golden Age piece, although it was done in modern day America. It was written in the time period, so I'd like to just kind of point out how with even modern day, it still brings the feel of three kinds of scenic backgrounds that were used in the Spanish age. Those were the facade, the curtains concealing the facade, and the medieval type mansions that would then be at the forefront, which we sometimes still see in modern day theater, and this is a really great aspect of that. Kind of after this whole spectacle, a lot of painted flats with doors and windows were starting to be seen in the time period, as well as things more permanent to help with the storytelling of other shows. And so with the top photo, we kind of see a staging of Marisol, where the surroundings are localized, kind of like they would be back in the early times of Spanish Golden Age theater, where they were very local to help set the time to the place, and the feeling of what is happening in what was then the Spanish Golden Age. And then next we do have some costuming connections that I'd like to point out. Costumes were still very Elizabethan during the Spanish Golden Age, and so actors would definitely use a lot of their finances, up to a fifth or half of their finances, for one costume so that they would be able to wear it. Because of this, you would see costumes that were, though more fancy than you would see now in some of magic realism, you still get a feeling of where the time period is and where you're locally. So in the piece on the left, we see a very modern magic realism play where you are set in what looks like modern day, and it helps really contrast magic in magic realism. So that was kind of what I had to say about magic realism, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.